What's up, losers? Today I'm back with some more posts from r/fatlogic to read, unpack, and probably make a few jokes about. This is episode 52 in the fatlogic series. And I've got some spicy posts to examine, so without further introduction, let's get into it.
The randomized control trial was first proposed by a eugenicist and race scientist. In fact, medical statistics exists to serve white supremacy. I'm no longer interested in playing by your rules. So you can take you evidence-based medicine and stuff it somewhere unmentionable. The concept of evidence was invented by white men who wanted to further the white race through science. It's right there in the history books. How can any civilized country still buy into the idea that RCTs are fair and unbiased? Civilized my ass.
Oh my god, this is actual lunacy. Like, it almost defies belief. It's one thing to acknowledge some of the more unsavory parts of the history and development of Western scientific practice, like scientific racism and eugenics, to rightly debunk and condemn them, and to understand the long-ranging impact they have had, both inside and outside of the medical field. But it's another thing entirely to use this history as a justification for discarding medical statistics and evidence altogether. Like, that's not an at all mature, reasonable, or proportionate response, and it's going to do both minorities and society as a whole infinitely more harm than good. Science and medicine may not be perfect, and there may remain more work to be done on combating bias and bad practice. But the idea that we would be better off just giving up on them is ridiculous. Furthermore, you can't just point to the original inventor of something, identify how they may have been problematic in some regard, and use this to dismiss their creation forever, whether the inventor of the randomized control trial was a racist or not. The trial's principles remain sound, and hundreds of years of development have no doubt allowed scientists to refine its process significantly. The information that we have been able to gather from using such procedures has saved countless lives in the intervening years, and helped people from all over the world in any number of different ways. And it will continue to do so long into the future. To want to move backwards from all of that and just leave it on the table is staggeringly arrogant, destructive, and frankly, flat-out stupid. The fact that this is presumably all in service of defending fatness just makes the whole situation that much more absurd. Like, people are really so unwilling to admit that obesity is unhealthy that they are happy to give up on the entire concept of evidence. Is it really that hard to just lose weight, or accept that your obesity is damaging to your health? Neither of those options seems that terrible to me. But clearly these fat activists just don't think like I do. Size. I swear man, you can't write this stuff. It's like they're trying to make themselves even more of a laughingstock than they already are. At any rate, I'd better move on to the next post before my brain turns into a puddle of yogurt. Ha.
Public service announcement: have you lost weight? Is not a compliment.
But it could be though. It really depends on the context, doesn't it? If someone you know has told you that they're trying to lose weight, and you can see that they have lost weight, it seems complimentary to point this out to them, because the knowledge that people are noticing their progress will make them proud of what they have accomplished, and reassure them that they are making real progress, which are generally nice feelings to have. Obviously, there are situations where commenting on someone's weight loss is not going to be taken so well, and it would be better to refrain from doing it. If someone has lost weight because of a physical illness or an eating disorder, say, it would probably be better not to comment on their weight at all. If a bodybuilder gets injured and can't go to the gym anymore, it's probably best not to congratulate them on that weight loss either. And if the person in question is someone you don't know very well, it might be best to err on the side of caution, and hold your tongue about their weight altogether. But I think most people know that unsolicited weight comments of this nature are inappropriate. And in the vast majority of cases, people who compliment others on their weight loss are just acknowledging the hard work and success of people they care about, which is completely fine. Fat activists might not like it when anyone compliments anyone else on weight loss, because they take it as a slight against them. But ultimately, it's none of their business. Other people are allowed to have different values and priorities to you. And if you take offense to perfectly innocent, well-intentioned comments that aren't even directed towards you, that's a you problem.
Fact: dieting is the biggest predictor of weight gain, and the biggest predictor of developing an eating disorder.
Okay, so I take issue with the point about dieting being a predictor of weight gain, because it shifts the focus away from why somebody's diet might have failed, and what they need to do differently if they want to succeed on a subsequent attempt, towards a general dismissal of diets as bad and not worthy of pursuing. Despite the fact that a well-planned, moderate diet that one is willing to commit to can absolutely lead to healthy and sustained long-term weight loss. While many people who attempt diets do fail, and put on even more weight in the aftermath, the underlying issue is not dieting, it's overeating. It's compulsive overeating that leads people to fail at the diets in the first place. And it's emotional overeating that leads them to console themselves with yet more food, and become even heavier than they were when they started out. Accepting that it is simply impossible for these people to overcome their eating problem, and that they would be better off not even trying, is a remarkably defeatist attitude, and an extremely depressing one to accept when you consider its implications. Because it basically suggests that no matter how bad obesity might be, fat people are completely incapable of change, and to even attempt to take control of their lives, and aspire to something better than the present reality, would be folly. I do not believe this. I believe that even if there is a possibility of failure, it is worth trying to overcome one's demons, and build a better life for oneself. If you do fail, you get up and try again, because that's what life is all about. Dieting may be hard, but it's certainly not impossible, and with a little guidance and support, I have faith that anybody can turn their life around, no matter how out of hand things might appear to have gotten. But only if they believe in themselves enough to try. As for dieting causing eating disorders, the same logic applies. Sure, there is some risk when one undertakes a diet, that it could morph into something dangerous. But obesity is also dangerous. It seems remarkably backwards to me to accept a guaranteed bad outcome, because the solution to the problem might bring a different bad outcome. Like, how does that make any sense at all? Is it just a the devil you know situation? I don't get it. It seems to me that if people are really interested in preventing people from developing eating disorders, they should take a stance against extreme or dangerous diet practices that are especially likely to produce that outcome. Specifically, not dieting in general, because once again, obesity is bad, and telling people suffering from it that there's no way out for them, and that they will just have to live with it, is just too cruel for me to accept. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the posts and my commentary, such as it was. What do you think? Should we give up on science and evidence? Is asking if someone has lost weight a compliment? Should we give up on dieting, because diets sometimes produce negative outcomes? Let me know in the comments. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. or I'll be a total insensitive asshole, and compliment you on your weight loss. And it'll be so upsetting for you that you'll probably burst into tears and never speak to me again. Just kidding, haha. Anyway, catch you later.